Albert Mwenda, the Director General for Budget, Fiscal and Economic Affairs from the National Treasury, representing our Principal Secretary from the National Treasury, Dr. Chris Kipto, Ambassador Meg Whitman, our US Ambassador to Kenya, AmCham board members, AmCham members, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and as Maxwell said, a Happy New Year. I guess we have to say that because we're still in January. I hope you're all having a wonderful start to the year, and allow me to take this opportunity to reiterate AmCham Kenya's best wishes for 2023, and indeed for today's session, which is our inaugural event for 2023. As AmCham members, our long-term and growing investments in various sectors of the Kenyan economy continues to give evidence of our firm belief in Kenya's economic potential and to the viability of existing opportunities for Kenya-US trade and investment to contribute to Kenya's economic growth. The World Bank forecasts project that Kenya's economy will make strides towards recovery this year to almost pre-pandemic levels. This is much welcome news to business, and we remain cautiously optimistic that this will be realized, because we know that this growth outlook faces challenges both locally and from events on the global arena. Risks associated with elevated domestic inflation due to increasing commodity prices, the drought crisis, as well as global risks of inflation, a rise in interest rates, the recession, COVID-19 resurgence, and the ongoing war in Ukraine may hamper this projected economic recovery. Nevertheless, we applaud our government's vision of inclusive growth through its economic transformation agenda, focused on economic empowerment of the population at the bottom of the pyramid. And we as AmCham share this vision. Inclusive growth is key for shared prosperity. In addition, we also hold that a private sector-led growth framework is critical to sustainably increasing living standards, building wealth, and reducing socio-economic inequalities. To drive growth, certain actions will be crucial across the 5 key sectors which we as AmCham Kenya envisage to have the biggest impact on our economy in our government's economic turnaround program. Firstly, let's look at agriculture. Over 70% of Kenya's exports are agriculture focused. Some of the biggest multinational investors have either invested in agriculture or seek to service this sector. With consistent annual growth rates at an average of 5%, this sector could play an even bigger role in providing more jobs and accelerating economic growth. Strengthening partnerships with access to American technologies and using them as a capacity building pipeline for local value chain players can help diversify and develop Kenya's agriculture potential to its full. Enhancing the country's agro-processing capacity by offering tax and other incentives to investors who are willing to set up agro-industries in rural areas, and promoting partnerships between smallholders and large agribusiness firms can also enhance this sector's growth through vertical value chain integration. Secondly, micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs. Enhancing the cooperation between our 2 countries to increase trade and investment opportunities for MSMEs will be vital, especially across development of support infrastructure, such as dedicated MSME centers, incubators and accelerators, and export assistance centers as appropriate to create a network for sharing best practices, linkages with suppliers, buyers, and other potential business partners, and exchanging market intelligence. There is also a need to support inclusion activities for MSMEs owned by underrepresented groups, including women and youth, as well as startups, and to promote partnership among these MSMEs and their participation in bilateral trade. Thirdly, healthcare. Without streamlined data management, forecasting for health services, tracking health trends, and developing proactive measures to counter rising health issues is a real challenge. The poor quality of health sector data limits investment opportunities due to limited information on health market dynamics, which is critical to investment decisions. It is critical for the government and the private sector to collaborate on the development of frameworks and processes that will facilitate the development of effective data management in this sector. Further, incentives to develop manufacturing of health products and technologies, as well as mechanisms to counter the large counterfeit market in Kenya, are vital to attract investors, to improve FDI inflows and enhance job creation, knowledge transfer, and innovation in this sector. Fourthly, the digital economy. There is a critical need to establish investment-enabling and encouraging policies in the digital economy. Regulation, especially concerning data flows, privacy, taxation, and the regulation of emerging technologies, is a key challenge to mobilizing financing for sustainable innovations and spreading digital adoption across our country. Consideration of the diversity of the digital economy and the reality of new business models driven by technological innovation, as well as prioritizing collaborative effort with bilateral and multilateral partners, can allow for the development of innovative tax frameworks that accelerate growth of the digital economy and enhance job creation potential. In conclusion, driving growth is founded on two vital principles. The first one being building business confidence. Business confidence in the operating environment is tied to government action and an understanding that government will consistently act in the best interest of the economy and of growth. A stable and predictable business environment is therefore foundational to giving business the confidence to operate and the stability necessary to make long-term investment decisions that drive growth. The second one, a fair, simple, and sustainable tax policy. An enabling tax policy is one which is not only participatory in its making, but one that fosters coherence and is sensitive enough to spread benefits across the board to as many stakeholders as possible. It is also one which helps level the playing field for all players who seek to optimize the existing trade and market opportunities, as well as optimizing the opportunities themselves. We need a tax policy that focuses purely on tax administration concerns and maximizing revenue collection without taking into consideration systemic challenges faced by business and the general public, as well as the wider goals of supporting the objectives of inclusive growth, employment creation, development and physical sustainability, will in the end run counter to government's efforts to encourage investment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a shared vision of inclusive, sustainable growth and shared prosperity, and we do believe it is attainable. It is our hope that this year, and for many more to come, we will work together, prioritizing action that is in the best interest of the economy, maintaining a long-term view to driving growth. And with those remarks, it is now my pleasure to welcome the US Ambassador to Kenya, Ambassador Meg Whitman, to give her remarks. Welcome, Ambassador Whitman.